It's another edition of Green Angle, where we examine environmental issues and offer sustainable solutions. I am Esther Mokwariola. Now, soil erosion is threatening residents living in Ikotun area of Lagos State, making life difficult for them. And they are appealing for an urgent intervention from government. However, soil experts say one of the contributory causes of this environmental challenge is climate change.
Quite a bumpy walk on this road, although it seems pretty normal for residents living in areas such as this one. Poor and shallow drainages are what we see here, but just straight ahead, the road leads to a dead end. Soil erosion has cut off this road, causing deep gullies, which even serves as a dump site.
Some landlords, they started selling their properties because because the place is not habitable for human being again. So and we've been trying our possible. We've been to the local government. The flood here is so great, it's so much. It cannot. You've seen yourself now. So no matter how tree you plant here can never hold the erosion.
Residents of Gafaru Street in Ikotun, Lagos State, have been living with this environmental challenge for quite some time. Really cut the pathway in this area, but destroyed other structures along its path, forcing some of the locals here to leave or even abandon their property. Others who have little or no other option are appealing for help from the state authorities.
This property you see right behind me has been abandoned by the occupants because of the erosion whenever it rains. And just before me here is a heap of plastics that has also been washed into this drainage channel by the floods whenever it rains.
This retired teacher runs a school in this community. She tells me things has been quite difficult and has spent a fortune to repair a portion of the road cut off by the erosion.
That time, the flood, when it's coming from Gafaru Road down here, there's another link of street here that goes to Roya, to Babalegba. The flood there is always directed to this place. Whenever it's coming like that, it has broken so many gutters and all the rest, so it's rushed into my compound. It wanted to break off the fence, but the fence inside broke, and this thing affected even the pillar, the electric pole here. We have to call the landlord association member. God, what are we going to do here? Myself and my husband will have to go and look for money, borrow here and there to do the concrete. Or else, this my area, because it's on this side, the erosion is coming like this, it will have been nothing again there.
Do you still have students in your school?
In fact, it's very terrible. It makes me sad when I think of the investment I put there. I'm a teacher from the beginning. I do nursery and primary, and nobody will release the children to go into water. That's why my population reduced drastically. People cannot, have the confidence that my child is safe on this street.
The story isn't different for others living here. For them, it has been quite challenging adjusting to this environment, which has affected both their lives and livelihoods.
It is even, if you say your house is 2,000 naira, they'll be pricing 500 naira. And this way I cannot blame them. If they have their car, where would they park? So they even if their wife is pregnant, maybe in the midnight, they want to give birth. We cannot just say you want to ride a motorcycle, can't go like that. So everything here, what is going? It's not viable. Viability is zero.
The ground here is very slippery. Anytime there is rainfall, we can't go outside. On my way home one day, I fell down and hurt my leg. There was even a time 3 children returning from school. One got carried away by the floods, and when she was found, she had sustained severe head injuries. There's a story of another man who wanted to cross in front here. He fell into the gutter. He was severely injured.
Concerning flood, we don't have good roads. Even though electricity is not constant. Many things like that we are facing in this street. And even though we are lack of security.
The issue of burning all these plastics and refuse, it just started not quite long. Because since the drainage, each time there is rain, we used to see dead plastics in the drain after the rain, after the flood.
Whenever it rains, no child can go to school. This area is not good. All the water coming from Ijegun flows into this area. The rains also bring all the refuse into this area.
Many truck pushers can't even pass here. Only animals find their way through here. When the rains come, we can't even wear slippers. We can't even dress well whenever we want to go about our business.
Although erosion might be a natural occurrence, scientists say high intensity of rainfall due to climate change often aggravates soil erosion. Other causes include poorly designed drains, unsustainable farming, deforestation, and even road construction. In Nigeria's southeast, soil erosion is a common sight, with gullies as deep as 150 meters, which have even become a tourist attraction. But in the case of this community in Lagos State, a soil scientist says effective control measures can be adopted to prevent further soil degradation.
One way of solving the problem when we become aware is to take action. One of such action could be a change of attitude. I talked about people dumping refuse inside the gutter during the rains in the hope that flood will dispose of their refuse. If we change that type of attitude, if we change that type of lifestyle, we will be able to protect our environment and we will be able to live better. That is on the side of the people. On the side of the government, if the government becomes alive to their responsibilities, then a lot of things will work well. In some cities, refugees are not disposed until they begin to foul the air around where they are dumped and things like that. Keeping long time until refuse begins to decompose at the time or the place of collection does not make for good environment. If we construct roads that have no drainage channels, then those roads cannot last long. They will, within a short time, begin to degrade, they will begin to erode, and they will begin to spoil. If we do not maintain drainage channels, water will not be easily disposed of, blockages will not be opened, and these are some of the things that can, if we do them as and when due, then we'll find solutions to most of the challenges that plague us.
Climate change is the leading cause of most environmental disasters experienced in many developing cities. Most communities with poor government presence and response are often left to care for themselves and hope that one day things might get better. But when that might be is to wait.
If the rainforests are the lungs of the earth, then wetlands are the kidneys because they provide essential protection against environmental issues like drought and pollution. But they are being threatened by population increase, overgrazing, oil and gas, and industrial waste.
Without water, there can be no life. But there are concerns that the world is facing a freshwater crisis that threatens people and our planet. Climate Change and Energy West Africa British High Commission says nature is our most precious economic asset, but collectively we are failing to manage it in a sustainable way. He calls for an urgent and transformative change in how we think, act and measure economic success to protect and enhance our prosperity and natural world.
As hosts of COP26, the UN Climate Change Conference, we recognise that healthy forests and wetlands can help to increase water storage and to reduce the risk of flooding, while nature recovery networks can help provide species with the connectivity needed to move in response to a warming climate. Meanwhile, ecosystems such as wetlands can directly reduce carbon emissions, mitigating climate change by acting as natural carbon sinks. I'd like to emphasise that the UK is a strong supporter of a new United Nations treaty for the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity areas beyond national jurisdiction, the so-called BBNJ treaty. This will create a mechanism for marine protected areas in the high seas and provide a comprehensive environmental impact assessment procedure for over 60% of the world's ocean, so it's going beyond the 30-30 initiative. It will deliver an ocean more resilient to and help mitigate the effects of climate change.
In the meantime, the federal government says it has established 10 additional national parks, including wetland and coastal areas, as part of the strategic approach to expand the country's protected areas. Experts say the conservation of wetlands is a vital task of humanity, which can help in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030.
Nigeria has already designated 2 of its forest reserves as MPAs. Establishment of 10 additional national parks, including wetland and coastal areas, as part of the strategic approach to expand the country's protected areas. We will also not relent in our commitment to the fulfillment of various multilateral environmental conventions, agreements, and protocols towards the attainment of national and global targets. I wish to use this occasion to renew Nigeria's commitment, particularly to the principles of the Ramsar Convention and the need to conserve our wetlands. May I therefore use this opportunity to call on all relevant stakeholders to join hands with the federal government as we march towards effective conservation as well as sustainable management and utilization of our biodiversity, including wetlands.
Although 70% of the earth is water, 97% of that is saline. It is salt water, not fresh water. It's locked up in the seas and in other places. Only 3% of that 70% is fresh water. And then if you dissect that 3% that is fresh water, a lot of it is not available for human consumption.
As we fight the battle on biodiversity loss, the One Health approach is vital for the health of all of us and our ecosystems. And as I always say, one world, one health. The Niger Delta region is the largest wetland in Africa and the largest mangrove forest in the world. So let us all come together to restore, conserve, and protect these beautiful ecosystems that nature has so abundantly blessed us with.
Though wetlands cover only about 6% of the Earth's land surface, its value to life and nature can't be underestimated because both water and wetlands are connected to the existence of life on this planet.
Wuse Market is about to enjoy 100% clean energy solution through a hybrid of electric and solar-powered energy. Now, this innovation in electricity generation is being implemented by the Rural Electrification Agency.
More than 5,000 traders in Abuja wouldn't need to power their businesses with generators anymore because they are now connected to 100% green, clean energy solution. It is the first private sector-led interconnected mini-grid solutions to be deployed in Nigeria.
Clean Technology Hub is a hybrid hub focused on research, policy, advocacy, and enterprise development. Working across the value chain to incubate and accelerate ideas and businesses in the clean energy space and making them commercially viable for late-stage investors and investments.
Green Village Electric is at the forefront of providing clean and sustainable energy solutions to unserved and undeserved rural communities with a target to reach millions of Nigerians and end energy poverty. Its pilot project, which provides 24 hours of power through a high-grid supply of electricity and solar-powered electricity, seeks to transform Wuse Market to Nigeria's first generator-free economic cluster in the largest black nation of the world.
If you have visited Wuse Market, ever visited Wuse Market, you would realize the level of economic and environmental decadence in costs in the market by virtue of self-generation from several thousands of operators operating in the market, and that level of loss is what we're actually trying to reduce by introducing a renewable, clean and hybrid energy solution that will offset all this self-generation, provide a significant level of cost savings, and that will in turn increase the productivity level of the shop owners on the market.
The market can even be open beyond 6 p.m., which is when the Wuse Market closes, because people can then do nighttime shopping without the fear of insecurity or the fear of just any other incidents happening at the market.
The traders are excited to see a fully electrified market free from noise and air pollution, and say this will improve market sales.
We have saved a lot, because before now, cost of maintaining of generator, fueling, at times even in the market you smuggle fuel in a jerrycan. If you go to the filling station to get it is another thing different, especially in the FCT. But for now, we have do away with all this. And then at times even your gen has a poor force before you see Makali. It's another thing. So I think in terms of cost, it has helped us a lot to save.
While this is targeted at achieving SDG goal number 7, affordable and clean energy for all, a lot needs to be done to achieve universal energy access
for all Nigerians by the year 2030.
Away next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Mopariola. Bye for now.